So recently I was invited on Fab Works Live. Morin and David White asked me a bunch of questions about my props, where I'm going with my channel, and a ton of other things. And if you haven't been on Fab Works Live, it happens nearly every Monday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and that's the place you should be. And I just wanted to share that with you. That's what's coming up next.
Welcome to Fab Works Live with Dave and Aedo.
And is it the bantha? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Doing the bantha?
It's like a country song.
You are too much. You are too much, brother. How you doing,
How
man?
you doing, Aedo? I'm doing great. How are you? For a Monday.
For a Monday.
But I just took the whole week off. I'm like, the heck with it. I'm taking vacation.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Must be nice. Not for me. My voice is still a little jacked up.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Just a little. It's getting better, though.
Yeah, little by little. All right, folks. So we have a great show for you tonight. We got a good friend of ours. You guys know him too. If you're into the Star Rooms Builders group and you're into our community, most of you guys, you'll know who he is. But before we get that going, Dave, who do we got going on so far? I know we were kind of early on this one, but who do we got on? Do we know?
We got the Maker. That's Josh Watts.
Hey.
Jimmy from Outer World Workshop. Yep. Sketchy Guy. Cameron, baby. Witsy Up. Excuse me. Witsy Up To. I think that's part of his last name, right? Is that Witsy Up To?
Yeah.
John Witz or something like that.
I believe so.
There's Kelly Stern from Props and Villainy. Howdy, fellas. I bet you liked that beginning intro too, didn't you?
You had too much.
And I think that's it for right now.
All right. Well, we'll call out some more people as they come in. All right. So, all right, folks. You guys know him as Garland's Workshop. Garland's a really good friend of ours, good prop maker. We're going to be putting out his links and all his stuff to his YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, so you guys can show him some love and go over there and subscribe to his channel. But we're going to bring him up. He is in the green room right now, so we got him on lockdown until we bring him up here.
We're holding him back. Just a He's full energy. He's excited.
He's wired like a microwave, folks.
Drinking coffee since 4 a.m. this morning.
Just a little bit nervous. That's he's a good guy. All right, folks, let's go ahead and welcome Garland to the show. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going,
guys? Garland? Doing good, man. How are you?
Oh, man, you guys are a riot.
Check out that background he's got going on.
Oh, yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. Let's bring it up to the forefront. There we go. He's got some good stuff going on. We're going to talk about all those.
Are you in Tatooine right now?
I'm trying to.
Nice.
All right. Dave, I'm going to hit him with the first round of questions. Do you want to hit him with the first round?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. All right, Garland, questions for you, bud. Ever since you started prop making, have you found yourself to be watching films now in a different manner? And what I mean by that is, like, when I first started prop making many moons ago, I would look at the movie, but I'm also looking at all the set design, the greeblies, the props, the colors, the lighting, all that stuff. Are you finding yourself doing the same thing?
Oh, absolutely. I grew up in, Southern California, where every person in Southern California thinks that they're an actor. I just happen to be a waitress, or I'm a computer engineer, or whatever. I'm just waiting for that moment where I'm gonna make it. And so I always was a little bit aware of the Hollywood effect,
right?
The music production and set studios, and even back when I was younger, my dad, he'd always let one room set for like a student, low rent, just to help people. And one of the guys was coming up from Brazil, went to USC for, film school.
Right.
And I did a lot of bad acting in that. But all his films, I helped him out, and I'd watch how he did everything.
A lot of B movies.
Oh yeah, student productions.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, back on point. What you're saying, I've loved Star Wars since I think I was 3 years old when it came out. Watched it in the drive-in theaters, and since then, I watch movies mainly for how do I feel. What presence does it have on me? Does it take me to a new world, a new experience? But now that I'm making props, I can't help but like every time a show comes on, there's actors going on, but I'm looking at the set design. I'm looking about what material did they use there? I wonder what kind of circuit that, are they using an Arduino, or are they using, some sort of soldering technique with certain circuits that are simple to make on your own without an Arduino,
or just Christmas lights glued to the back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we all started doing that. All of us, we still do it.
It's easy, right?
I'm always a buzz trying to figure out the hows and whys, what materials.
And somehow I always knew you were a bad actor too. Bad actor. But in a different way.
Yeah.
You got sketchy guys saying, wait, everyone in LA isn't an actor, but every waiter and waitress is an actor.
Absolutely. They just haven't made their break.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
nice.
Question that most of all of people ask me this too. Are you strictly like Star Wars? And I tell them I'm not. I do any type of genre, any type of film I love, and I'll create the props for them. There are some specific prop makers that only focus, and that's all they do is Star Wars props. There's some that do strictly like Star Trek, and some are strictly Alien. But I'm open for everything. So how about you? Where are you at in your prop? Are you like strictly Star Wars? Are you do other themes?
As far as prop building, it's strictly Star Wars at the moment. But that's not going to stay that way forever. It'll probably be the 50% at least. It'll always stay in that realm. But I like just about every genre that's out there. So it could be Aliens, Firefly. There's so many good shows out there. Like I was just rewatching some TV shows like Warehouse 13.
Right.
They got like 1,000 props in every episode, and they all look great to try and replicate. Or Eureka. But I figure there's so much more Star Wars information out there in the prop world. And since I'm still kind of learning. Right? Oh, yeah. We all kind of started our channels around the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm learning from the people that've been doing this for a long time. They just started a YouTube channel new. But there's a lot of experience there. So I'm trying to glean all that experience so that I kind of know what tools, the techniques, and then I can kind of branch out into some of the other themes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this, what Kevin says. Not everything is a juice lid, but a juice lid could be anything. Well, love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's off of, if you saw Sketchy Guy's responses, do different makers see items differently? Not everything is a juice lid. Yeah. And then Mod 4 put this one out. Aedo's a mercenary. No allegiance to anything. Love you, bud.
Yeah,
that's Jake.
The juice lids. I think I've been saving those since the first Smuggler's Room episode that I saw. I think I have about 3 boxes full of them, but I never use them the way he utilizes them. I use them as coasters. I use them as, little pucks so that I could paint up on things.
Yeah.
I'm always using them though.
Yeah, I got boxes of that Simply Juice lids. It's every kind of lid too, like soda pop, every type of lid I have. And I blame Brian too, because he started that hoarding process of me, which I never had, is because of him.
Absolutely.
I don't drink orange juice, so I'm thinking about 3D bottle of an orange juice lid so I could have some.
Right.
Hey, Garland, before I start asking you my questions, your name, Garland's Workshop, is that why you did that? Because you want to have everything?
That's kind
Make
of
different props?
where I kind of settled down and figured out what I wanted to do was I didn't want to be pigeonholed into just one thing. So I kept it broad.
Right.
Before all this, I have no experience with making props. I have no experience in filming, recording, or making YouTube anything. And so when you're making all your social media for these things, and before all this, I didn't do social media. And so I'm starting to have to figure out, like, what would my name be in the, what's the title? I still have no slogan,
Yeah, I don't
like
really either.
Like a bunch of people have slogans and stuff. And then I just didn't get worked up about it. I just kind of said, it's my workshop. That's where I'm going to be building my room. Keep it simple.
All right. What got you into it? Is it because of the social media that got you into the prop thing? Is that what?
I think it would be the pandemic.
COVID?
It was COVID, 100%.
Yeah.
Because typically I'm a sports guy and I'm a DIY guy.
Right.
If there's something on the house, the car that I don't like, I'll customize something. I'll rebuild it. I'll add to it. The pandemic hit, and then work is like, you need to stay home for a while. And then TV shows and movies started drying up, so there was nothing to watch. So what do you get the family entertained about? And so all my kids do social media. And I'm a huge family guy, as in the general sense, not the TV show. And so whatever they're doing to stay relevant, I kind of try and mirror those things so that there's a common speak. I'm always relatable to my kids.
Yeah.
And when I say kids, I think the youngest one's 18 almost. So young adults. So it's a little more complicated than, entertaining a 4-year-old. And so I started doing the YouTube, and I just started watching how the algorithm works. It figures out who you are and starts advertising the right things. I started seeing a lot of my normal woodworking. The next thing I know, I'm seeing Bob from I Like to Make Things. They saw that I clicked all his Star Wars videos. And then I watched Bill Duran over at Punish Props.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, it's sending me over to see Ron, CGR artist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I've made some themed rooms before, but nothing like that. That was amazing. It blew my mind. And then between those collections, suddenly this little smuggler icon on YouTube shows up, and I'm like, what's this? I clicked, and you all know how it goes. You just keep clicking, you watch every video, you rewatch them. And I was like, I have to do this. And if I'm going to do it, I have to do it right. And so I decided to make a YouTube channel for no other reason than accountability. I was telling my wife, I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to watch my stuff. I may have to force the kids to be, subscribed so I can at least I have 1 or 2 subscribers.
Yeah.
And, but it was kind of like an active documentary journal of my progress.
That's how it was for me too.
Anybody who saw my first prop on the video, that literally was my very first prop I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think any YouTuber, when you first start, and even Brian will tell you this, that he's like, who the hell wants to see my stuff? Nobody's going to watch me. Yeah. All of us have gone through that phase that we were like, who wants to watch this? But lo and behold, you put it out there, and there are folks out there that are interested in your content.
If you build it, they will come. Yep.
That's right. So any brand new YouTubers out there, take the plunge. If you're thinking about it, don't think about it. Just do it. Use your phone, whatever you got, It doesn't matter. You don't have to have this fancy camera from Canon or Nikon or Sony to start anything. You can start it right off your phone and get going.
Hey, Aedo, before you get in the prop section, can I say hi to the other people that came in here?
Absolutely. Bring them up.
So we got Martin Sarame. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Martin Sarame.
Hey.
We lost Garland.
Yeah.
Jake from Made 4 is in the house. What up, Jake? Jake from State Farms. Jesse Campos is in the house. Nice.
Jesse. I like Jesse.
Barry Scher. Is that my coworker, Barry Scher? Hey! And there's Garland back. And then we got Kevin Conca.
Kevin.
Hi, how you doing, Kev? And Dreaming Tabitha is here. Nice.
Sweet. Hi, Tabitha.
Sweet.
A lot of great people
I got
on here.
Everybody. Yeah. Oh, there's Dennis, Black Market Outpost.
Dennis.
Hi, Dennis. What up? Send me that link, Dennis. Send me that link.
All right.
Who's that? Broca Garage also just showed up.
Oh, yeah. A lot of great prop makers.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And painters and artists and all that good stuff. We love them all. All right. So let's get into your props. First prop coming up. And this one, if you can walk us through it, this obviously is a little panel that you made. So what are the pieces you used here and what did you create?
Oh, wow. That was probably to date one of my favorite props I've made. I pretty much, you look at these hard drives all the time, and I have a comm electronics background. So tearing these things apart, knowing how they work, what all the part names are, the ones and zeros of how they get computed through a computer, very familiar to me. And I was just staring at one on my desk and I'm like, you know what? If I just take off that top panel, I could probably make like some sort of, portable control panel that you can kind of walk around with, but I want it to work. I want to be able to switch on the lights and have it, operate. And so then I can't tell you how much I actually like tearing apart hard drives. I mean, I got stacks and stacks of them. I think I filmed it 2 or 3 times just because I enjoyed the process so much of methodically tearing them apart. And
yeah, one of the viewers just said you had the Lego Boba Fett there for scale.
Yeah, for scale.
I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I try and have that Boba Fett in at least a photo or every video. My eldest son, his favorite has always been Boba Fett, as is mine. And, I got that for him. And then when he moved on to his Air Force job, he let me keep it. And so kind of it's my way of having him with me all the time is putting him in every episode.
All right, that's cool. I really like that.
That is awesome.
It's good to have a backstory on that Boba Fett. Now every time I see it, I'm gonna remember that.
Garland's a big family man.
Well,
oh yeah.
Your son's in the military. You were also in the military.
Correct.
Yeah. How many
23 years?
23 years you served.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Salute.
Salute. All right, let's talk about the next prop you did. And this, lot of, what you got?
Dan Arena just showed up. Hi, Dan.
What's up, Dan?
Hey.
All right, the next prop, a lot of prop makers kind of go into this next prop that I'm going to show. And it's your cell phone data pad. Really a nice prop to come in, entry level type of deal, but it looks so good.
That's a sweet color too.
I like the colors you picked on that one. I love the chipping effect you made on this one. So walk us through, how long ago was this prop you made?
I made this probably about 3 weeks ago. I needed to go down to Los Angeles last minute, and I decided I was going to go to Disneyland with my dad because we're both doing the trip together. And I was like, well, since we're going to be down there, let's go to Disneyland. That way it's not just, a business trip, but we can have some fun. And I remember Brian having an episode saying that, everybody does this.
That's right.
So I was like, well, if everybody's got to do it, I need to do this. And so my youngest son was around, and I said, all right, I'll go buy some cases, and we're going to do this together and have some fun. And I bought a tank kit, and we just kind of just went at it. This one, I used Adam Savage's techniques that he taught probably about 6 months ago. Too often you don't see the hows and whys that Star Wars makes a decision on their aesthetic. But he had a phenomenal episode where he walked everybody through how many of those punches you make, where they should be on the styrene.
Oh yeah.
And it's fantastic. I loved it.
Where was this at?
It's on Adam Savage's Tested.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that out because I have one of them, the nibblers.
Yeah. It was like a 40-minute episode. He goes at a perfect pace, and you're able to. He tells you what kind of glues to use, and some of the tools that I even use.
Interesting.
Yeah, very unique tools. So I bought all the tools, and we just went at it and had a blast.
So for those of you guys thinking about making one of these data pads for cell phones, really easy to make. You get yourself some styrene sheet. If you don't, where to go, you can get it either on Amazon or eBay for styrene or your local art store. But if you don't have any of that, you can go to Home Depot and get one of those yard signs. That's styrene, that plastic.
Yeah.
You can use those and then go ahead and then cut them up and glue them on, and then get either an airplane kit, a model airplane kit, a tank kit, even a ship or anything like that, and start messing with the pieces and gluing them down. Now, we're going to talk about that very product that, in fact, Adam Savage uses to glue his styrene. Some people think, it's super glue. No. There is another.
Use that stuff on everything, man.
Yeah,
super glue.
Super glue. But there is another adhesive that's really good, and it's made for that. And we're going to talk about that on our tooltip time, and we'll show you that you can start putting what Garland did, a data pad together pretty quickly, and then painting it. I like what Dreaming Tabitha said. She said that your paint job looks like leather.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Does.
Yeah,
it did.
The paint I used was Rust-Oleum. It was the industrial version of the paint that Brian uses all the time.
Okay.
So it's not it's not the 2X. It's a can that's probably a third taller.
Okay.
And the hue's just a little bit different. And then I used a semi-gloss clear on top of that.
But you did the chipping effect, and you put silver first.
I did do silver first, and that's actually automotive high heat silver.
Oh.
So I mean, it's the kind of stuff you can use for like the drums of your car, or you can use it on your barbecue.
And what did you use for the chipping fluid, the masking fluid?
Oh, toothpaste, of course.
So your toothpaste, mustard, liquid latex. You can use a bunch of stuff.
I love that episode that Garland did where do you see that where he did like a quadrant, and he tried a little bit of each, and he was trying to prove or disprove which one looked better and stuff. And that was a very interesting show. I love that.
That was probably one of my biggest learning videos I've done to date.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Sean, and I was giving him some ideas of things that I was going to do.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I was thinking about doing that too. But he's like,
you sent him the piece or something, right? And he had to see which was which. And I think he got them all, didn't he?
We established the rules. I told him what I was going to do. He's like, okay, that makes sense. And without telling him, I changed the rules. I put some salt on because I just got curious at a moment.
Oh, yeah. And he knew that.
Yeah, he spotted it right away. I was
Sean did just show up. So hi, Sean. We're talking about you, buddy.
Yeah, but Sean is the master when it comes to weathering and painting.
He is.
Well, oh my God.
But this show wasn't about him.
No, I know.
We must continue.
But that's why he was able to pick it up, because he knows
he did it.
He's done it.
Yeah.
He's done it. So he knows it. So it's really
that was a great show though. That was awesome.
Agree.
I love it.
All right, let's bring up the next
what else we got?
Oh, it's one of them is actually the one we're going to talk about now is directly right behind him. So we'll bring it up here, and then we'll bring him forward.
Tough enough for you is in the house too.
Hey, Tough, what's up?
What's up?
All right, here we go. This thing is sweet. Now, if you guys notice, there's also a LED panel, or you got tactical HUDs flowing through there, right?
I do. That's courtesy of you and Jamie Dole.
Nice.
I don't know how to put the HUDs together yet. That's on my bucket list. But
we'll get there.
Jamie put out some posts about his HUD, and so I contacted him and said, "Hey, could I borrow that? Because I got a DVD player that's begging to have a screen in it." And that's pretty much what that whole prop is. I took a DVD player, and everybody knows the cost of wood lately. So I used the DVD player case, like the carcass, as the case for that entire prop. So all I had to do was put a MDF top on it. And then I used, if anybody's seen my videos, they know I like making panel openings. I love circuit boards being exposed. But this one I used a little bit of acrylic to, make it a little more moodier. And the circuit board that's actually in the top right, that's the control board from the DVD player.
That looks really, really good.
It was
I have
fun.
a question about this part. I was watching this video the other day, and I seen you. It was like translucent, where it kind of looked like you could see through it. How did you do that part on that prop?
On the top right panel?
Yeah.
That's just an acrylic panel. I went on Amazon, found a smoke red.
Okay.
There should be a link, I think, on that video.
Well, I remember something. It kind of looked like acrylic or something, but there was like black writing and everything, and you kind of slid it into like a little window or glued it.
I think you're thinking
maybe
of
a different prop.
The Luke Skywalker hands for the challenge.
Maybe.
Probably. Yeah, but
that's.
Did we show that one yet?
From a TV.
No, so don't get ahead of
All right. I thought it was that one.
Now, the next photo that's coming up, I love this because it gives me, when I look at it, it gives me that old school sci-fi, Sigourney Weaver, aliens type of vibe. Very clean prop. I think it's pretty cool. You made this out of microwave parts, right?
Yes.
Folks, check this out.
So this was 100% a microwave. To date, I don't think I found more cool things that I could have made from that microwave. I was tearing everything apart, and I said, "There's no way I can do just one prop." And so I made two. I made the little communicator, and then I made the Tantive 4 walls.
That's what I was thinking. Tantive 4.
Yeah, that's what I was aiming for, but I could definitely see how is a kind of a generic sci-fi look.
Right.
But when you're looking at the microwave, they typically have that bump out.
Yeah.
And, when you're looking at the original movie, a lot of that stuff was just geometric shapes and bump outs.
Gosh.
So what is that little handheld piece?
That's the control board, on the side of the microwave where you punch in all the numbers and the times for like, do you want popcorn? Do you want 30 seconds more? That's all that is.
So did you just cut it and how did you do that part?
So all you have to do is there's like 2 screws on the back of the main bezel. Right. You take that off and then the whole piece comes off. Oh. And then I would say almost 90% of the greeblies that are on it are all medical parts.
Wow.
Like as a family, everyone's on the hunt for greeblies for me. And, my wife put a box that says, the Greebly box, and it's right next to the front doors, and everybody's trying to drop off the coolest Greebly and see if it can get in the next video. And my daughter, she's a type 1 diabetic, and my kids have some other medical ailments that produces a lot of very interesting medical devices, and they were delighted to see those, greeblies put into one of my props.
This thing is unbelievable. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I like that too a lot.
Now, Garland, you've inspired me to get a microwave and just demolish it and create something like this. If I throw some stickers on this thing will look unbelievable. Some decals.
Oh, I think decals, especially the ones you do, would probably put it over the top.
Yeah, let's make some special ones for it. So send me some more photos. I'll design them for you and I'll send them to you so that we can print them out and put them on there, because that thing is just gorgeous.
There's some people in the chat claiming that it needs to be weathered and dirty.
Oh Lordy, no. It's Santa 4. You don't do.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Jamie Dole's in the house too. What's up, Jamie?
Hey, Jamie.
He likes it all white.
Yeah.
All white.
All right, the next one.
Nice.
The next one's pretty funny. This was a challenge that Dave from Whitey Wicked Workshop put out with a Dollar Tree challenge. And when I saw this one, when I saw this originally, I was scratching my head and I'm going, Garland.
Were you laughing?
Oh, I was dying, dude.
I was laughing too. Like, what's he gonna do with this?
All right, let me show you, folks. Let me show you first what he was going to be making. And I was like, okay, I got questions for him. Here's the photo. Okay.
I love it.
But what it turns out to be at the end, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's pretty unique and creative what he did with this little pink and purple blue little girly iron. And
this proves that he could think outside the box.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
For real. He's got the eye now.
All right. Everybody saw that photo. I'm not going to leave it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to show.
What's it going to be? Any guesses?
Let's see. Can anybody guess? If you watched this show or if you watched his YouTube channel, you probably saw it there. If you went to Dave's Facebook page, you probably saw the final result there. But can anyone guess what he turned that?
Yeah, put the picture back on.
Let's
see if we can get some. Yeah. What's he going to make out of it? Well, we got a Boba ship from Kelly.
Okay.
Anybody else? Cameron's just laughing like he always does. Josh is saying slave one.
Yep.
Anybody else? He says a pork. I guess it could be. You cook that in a pork.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring up for the folks who did answer. Yeah, you're absolutely right. What he did the slave one. Here we go. Some sort of
that's a new one.
Oh,
that's a new one.
I can see that.
What he actually did. Check this out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this is also the episode where he learned how to do the texturing and stuff, which is really awesome.
Yeah, but not only did he do the ship, he also did the diorama around it, the rock features.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Right. And then everybody can see the Simply Juice lid that's there.
That's the only juice lid I've used actually as a prop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
It's the smaller bottle version.
I was super impressed when I saw that you turned that little tiny girly iron into a Slave One ship. I was
remember we were talking about a laughing?
Yeah. It was awesome.
Look at this. This is crazy.
Okay. Here's a bigger photo of it with the diorama cave that you put together. And again, we were limited because Dave only said that you were only allowed to use $15 worth. You had to go to the dollar store and it can only be $15 or anything that you've had already that didn't cost you any money that you could use. So $15 worth, and you did that. That's impressive.
Yeah, that was $2.50.
$2.50. Look at that. How did you do the texture on the rocks?
Texture on the rocks, I originally had those little tool bins, and I was going to make that as the cave. And then I was like, that's just not going to be big enough. It's not going to photograph well. I want to give Dave the best, picture I can for the challenge. And so I was looking at a bunch of the shipping foam that, manufacturers put in boxes. And I'm like, I've seen more than enough Boil Eye Hobby and some other, creators out there. I could try my hand at some foam. And so it's EPS foam.
Okay.
So definitely put on the protective gear when you're slicing away at that stuff. And so I kind of created the look I wanted for the mountain. And I made a mixture of Mod Podge. I used plaster of Paris and the paint that I wanted to use. And I created, and the plaster of Paris mainly is just so that you can hide all the seams. So,
right.
Because originally I finished the entire thing and I was like, I got seams that you can see and I didn't like that. So I redid the entire thing and I think I used 6 different colors. And I was just using a dry brush effect. I think I went from dark and then brought it up level to level with a little bit lighter. And I was taking screenshots of Book of Boba Fett. I was looking, at the old movies, trying to get the right tone for what Tatooine should look like.
Right.
When I was watching that video, Garland, I kind of felt your pain and what you were doing at the time. Because, I could see the lines, and I'm like, okay, it still looks kind of good. But then you come over there, and then you started schmutzing the stuff up. I'm like, yeah, he's got it.
Yeah.
Schmutzing. Yeah, that really came out great, especially for your first time. Jeez. I don't know.
It was
what
the first prop.
like.
It was the first prop that when my wife came in the garage, she's like, "Oh, that's impressive." And
see that?
I'm like, well, I've made other stuff, and she's like, well, this stuff she's more familiar with using. She did all the kids' dioramas, and she's used to using those materials, and so I kind of got brownie points at home for.
Kelly thought it was a real rock. Kelly thought it was a real rock.
Oh, awesome. Thanks. No, I started to realize I like making those dioramas. I like the textures. A lot of it's prep. You got to do the prep work. You got to make enough shape, and you almost have to dig into the material a little extra, because when you cover it with the plaster of Paris, it's going to flatten it. And then I used that little probe knife, and I just started jabbing down into the surface, so you kind of get that that texture look,
like a rock look.
Yeah, like the rock look, where almost on like a cove,
right?
Where you get looks like somebody just drove a bunch of nails and then they pulled the nails up.
Let's bring that photo back up while he's talking about it, so the folks can see what he did.
And then I dug in some stuff on the side to look like maybe somebody had to be upset at Jabba at some point and put some blaster marks in the.
Oh
rock.
yeah, I see that.
That's cool.
And you could definitely tell with the different colored paints. Like I could tell when you were painting the one, and you were letting it flow kind of down and watered it down. That looked really great. I love that.
Yeah, I was watching a model maker, and he was showing that, and it's a little contrary to a lot of stuff that you normally see. But he was saying just use a spray bottle and the oil paints, like the water mixable oil paints. Yeah, you just keep spraying it with the water bottle, and then you get those little drips that come down.
It starts to run down inside the cracks and all.
Yeah.
And it makes it more manageable when you're brushing it.
Kelly wants to buy it. He wants to know how much.
You can have it.
Quit being a troublemaker, Kelly.
I want to trade you, though. You have a panel box that my daughter fell in love with.
Ah.
Oh, that's
right. Is that the pink one?
The pink one.
It was the pink one.
There you go. Maybe he could get a trade going on.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple of materials for folks that are obviously you're watching. You can use also a thing called mold. Mold is just like plaster of Paris. It's a different type of material, but it gives you that same organic look to build rocks and stuff like that. So, and then use granite. Is it granite? No. Grout. Use grout. Yeah. You can put that on the ground, and then you have to dilute some with some PVA glue, and then spritz it down with some alcohol to pack it down, so it creates that rough texture. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think
got
the next
two
round
sets in the house here.
Oh,
what's up, guys?
Yeah, I think next time I'd like to use some of that stuff that James from the Rebel Base build use some of that dust powder, and it gives it that sandy look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to try that the next go around.
Yeah, something Earth. I forget the name of
the Fuller's Earth.
Yeah, Fuller's Earth. Yeah,
Fuller's
I
Earth.
just tried using some of that.
Fuller's Earth is also used in the movie industry to dust up the garments of actors to make it look worn and torn. They use that as well to create that. So
just don't inhale that stuff. It's not good for you.
Yeah, my only recommendation with a plaster of Paris, do it somewhere that you don't mind getting messy, because
you're gonna jack it up.
Wow, it gets everywhere.
Yeah. Jamie Dull says Monster Mud is another good material. Joint compound and latex paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Most of your Halloween haunters, and that's why Jamie, he knows that, Monster Mud. I've used that plenty of times too. So you're absolutely right. Joint compound and just latex paint, regular either indoor or outdoor latex paint, and mix that up, and that stuff is good. Nice. Dry lock is another one. You can buy dry lock, and that also, like, folks make tombstones out of it, but it has this gritty texture.
I was asking Jamie about that while I was at Lowe's. It's like, which one do I get? And he's like, the one with texture. So thanks, Jamie. I think I got the right one, but I'll try it soon.
Absolutely. So you have multiple ways to create that rock texture, but the foam is what's key. There's either in pink or in blue, depending on where you're from and what city you're at. It depends on what they're carrying, the EPS foam, but you can carve that out. But definitely wear a mask, especially if you're sanding that stuff down. You don't want that stuff in your lungs for sure. All right. Next photo. This was kind of cool and kind of creepy at the same time. I
know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, we did the Fab Works challenge, and Garland was one of the contestants that came in on the Fab Works challenge, and he created this piece I'm about to show you guys.
Very original piece.
Absolutely. Original all the way. Came to creativity.
Did anybody give you a hand with this when you were building it?
So you'll see why, folks, why he's saying that. But this is so cool. But I definitely got the highest points from me and a lot of the judges when it came to creativity, because this is original. Check this out. Walk us through this, Garland.
Wow.
So this go around, I hadn't even, of course, it was, we chose Savvy's Workshop or the Den of Antiquities. I chose the Den of Antiquities. And I hadn't been there before, so it was a little bit, I wasn't sure what to do. But I read up on it, and I'm like, all right, he's kind of like that guy in, Marvel, who just collects things. So what's unique and they'd want to collect? And right off the bat, I'm like, there's always something about the Skywalker appendages that people get fascinated with. And so I ordered the only pair of hands that Amazon had. And because it was so far away from Halloween, nobody else was selling them. And so I had to learn how to paint the hands, which I've never made a palette before in my life. And so I had to learn how to make flesh tones. And then because I had a right and a left, but I needed two right hands, I had to disassemble the left hand and then reassemble it in a manner so that it would fill the glove.
Right.
And the theme I was going with was I wanted as much of it to be symbolic. So, they both came from Tatooine. However, because the Tatooine's color is a little bit more lighter, it's more innocent looking. More of that was on the Luke Skywalker hand. And then on the right side, Vader was predominantly a dark person. He only came around at the last end in Return of the Jedi and, came back into the fold. So I wanted more of that Empire look. And then the symbolism on the left side was basically it's the droid collar. That was a eBay find. I think I paid $10 total for that. And it was complete with everything, perfect condition. Then I went to Joann's to go get some fabric to kind of represent his tunic from Empire Strikes Back. And if you can picture me explaining to a lady in her 60s, maybe 70s, that I was trying to make a prop about severed hands, and I just needed a yard of fabric.
Man. And a shovel.
I might as well have been called Dexter or something at that point. But
wow.
And then I figured, throw in some video to kind of depict the two scenes in which those battles happened. So it was kind of had some interactive aspects to it.
No, listen, by far that thing was really, really cool and very unique and creative. When I first saw it, I was like, is that a severed hand? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, it's Luke's. I can see the glove. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, very good idea. Love that. Sure.
And the texture around the box, is that joint compound? What did you use?
No, I used unsanded grout.
Okay.
So when I bought the house, the previous people left a bunch of stuff behind. I was going through the cabinets because I ran out of the plaster of Paris, and I found the grout, and I'm like, I'm gonna use that. And I think I put it on Instagram. I'm like, hey, here's what I'm working on, and I just kind of like a sneak peek, and everybody's like, you making a cake? And that's pretty much how I put it on. I mean, I had like a little knife, and I was just putting it on, slathering it on, making sure it was lumpy enough, and then you just sand it down just a little bit, so you much like if you've ever drywalled, like sheetrocked,
right?
Where you just kind of knock down the texture. If you want like an orange peel wall, it's the same method,
right?
You kind of get those bumps and waves.
Well, they came out beautiful. Great job. Really great job on that one. All right, now it comes to the part of our show where we talk about tool tips. I'm going to go first so that way everybody can see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring this up. For tool tip today, for those who are into prop making, when I use styrene, I use this adhesive, the 2354 from Sure Grip. It's an ABS styrene. It's almost like water consistency. I use a regular paintbrush. So if you're working with styrene or ABS, instead of using super glue, I'll dip this in there and I'll do right down the seam line of that specific prop in order to glue two pieces together. And what it does, it melts, it joins in by melting it. So if you want to try it out, not sponsored by this company, if they want to sponsor us, go right ahead. But it's the 2354, and you can see here the company that made it, SCI Grip, ABS and styrene adhesive. Adam Savage uses this as well. A lot of his props, so something that I picked up from him, and I learned it. And I know, Garland, you also have a tool tip, right, for today?
I do.
All right.
So when you're doing your soldering, these little micro brushes, they come in very handy. My wife got these for me from the sewing store. But this is kind of what they look like. So when you're trying to get flux on some of your components, you don't want too much flux because otherwise you're going to get corrosion down the line.
Right.
And so it just gives you just enough, flux so that you can put it on the circuit in a tight spot and you're good to go. It's pretty easy to use.
I like that. I like that. All right, Dave, you don't got one for today, no?
I just found, I remembered one here. So this is the prop that I just made for the challenge.
Yeah.
But I remembered I wanted to make this foam and not 3D printed. So I remembered, I think it was Punish Props. They used the heat gun and they crumbled up like aluminum foil. I don't know how good you could see that, but
yeah, we can
it was
see
to
that.
give it nice texture, So all I did was heat it up and then I pushed aluminum foil on it and it came out really cool, I think.
Yeah, you can make it to make like leather. It's like a lot of cosplayers do that.
You could put imprints on them, like tires. One more thing. When I did this prop, I used UV resin and just kind of brushed it on top to make it nice and smooth.
Oh, wow.
And then I cured it with a UV light.
That's really nice.
Yeah. So
that's one of the props that's going to one of the winners.
That's right. I'm waiting for the addresses and it's going.
Look at that thing. That's a thing of beauty. All right, let's go to our Q&A moment. Hopefully we have a bunch of questions for Garland.
We got a bunch.
For us. All right, Dave, Hit us. What do we got?
Garland, what is your favorite thing to build right now? Small or big props? And that's coming from Kelly Stern, Props and Villainy.
Oh, wow. I can't get away from my panels. I love making panels, and I'm finding that I want to keep making them bigger and bigger. It gives you more options, and I think it challenges me to figure out how to fill the space. That's probably the hardest thing, I think, was starting with prop building, is trying to think in a new mindset. And when you have to break down something like Star Wars as a theme, what are the main components? How are you going to use those components? Are you doing just like the movie? Or I prefer, like, I get inspired visually. I'll see something and I'm like, I have to do something just like that. And then by the time I'm done, it looks nothing like it. It's just inspired. And I think I prefer the custom look.
Right.
Yeah. You're doing a good job at the customs.
What else we got?
Sketchy Guy says, Garland, are you still in Cali?
Oh, of course. I'm in my board shorts and flip-flops right now.
Yeah, is it hot there right now?
Oh, well, today is nice. Today's, I think, like only in its mid-80s. But yesterday it was like 105.
California has the best weather no matter what. You come down to Florida, that's where you're dying.
Too much humidity.
Yeah.
Bad.
Want to take this one?
Any suggestions for creating content for YouTube? I'll just
I had a good conversation with Dave and also Sean about this topic maybe a month ago, because I get so excited about things, and I always try and figure out how to do something and then pass it on so that other people can do it, because they probably can pass me up really fast and I'll be impressed with whatever they're doing. I just want to see more content, because I mean, we're all in the Facebook groups, Star Wars room builders, and we'll see something and we're just like, that's amazing, but I need a video. I want to see every angle of that.
Yeah.
If only they made a video. So my suggestion is, just don't worry about all the details. Make the channel, make like an Instagram. There's nothing easier than Instagram. If I can learn it, you can learn it, and use simple tools. I film everything with my phone. I airdrop that to my iPad. I use iMovie, which is free.
Right.
And so, I mean, there's $0 investment in the beginning. Use the simple music that comes with YouTube Studio, and
get inspired to do something.
Most of us, we all start with behind the camera. We put in some text of what we would have said, or we would have acted in front of the camera. And you're just going to get inspired to not only build props, but also make better videos over time. But you just have to...
Post-it notes are your friend.
Oh, yeah.
I have them all over the place here.
What is it, Dave? You tell me all the time. You're like, just go do it. It's as simple as that. You just get the camera, hit record.
That's my thing. Yeah. Just do it. They say that you need to do 100 videos to get good. And the less you watch of other people doing it, the more you build your own style, I think. Right?
Yeah.
So next question.
All right. What we got?
Another one from Kelly. What's your goal for all your builds? Are you eventually building a room or just props hanging up in your shop?
Yes. My goal is to 100% have a room build. Originally, I wanted a Firefly room, but there was no examples of a Firefly room.
Right.
Eventually, a few of those clicks of searches of Firefly room over and over in YouTube led me to Star Wars, which everybody's doing. And so I was like, okay, let me learn over there. I love Star Wars, so that's easy enough. My goal is to make Star Wars on one wall in my garage, and then I'm going to try and find a way to kind of seamlessly cross the ceiling, and then over to the wall behind me will be the Firefly wall, and then the back wall will be Aliens.
Ooh, nice.
And then I figure eventually have Halloween where the kids can kind of parade in and we can hand them candy and they can see the.
Where you could shoot them at them like Jamie Dell does, right? Choo-choo, here's your Tootsie Roll.
his setups are incredible.
Yeah. All right. What's your dream build piece? What's the ultimate?
The ultimate piece. I think the ultimate piece for me is probably my Firefly wall. I'm trying to find a way to, in a small form factor, build a part of the ship so that it may be a cabinet, it may be like a bunch of drawers, and then I'm just using the tiles of the ship across the drawer fronts. But something so that when people look at it, it's not identical to what's been done, but it's inspired by.
I need to watch that show to see what you're talking about.
Yeah, and if I could do anything to make Slave One in my ship, like in my room somewhere, that's like one of my favorite ships.
There you go. Oh, don't you mean Boba Fett's starship?
Yeah, was it Starbright or Stars?
Oh, it's terrible. Starship. I'm pretty sure it's just Starship.
I don't get worked up over what they call it. I know what it is to me.
It'll always be Slave One to me. Yeah. Aedo?
All right.
Take that one?
Yeah. Garland, what's your bucket list prop or set to build?
I think I'll go with set. If anybody has gone to my channel and seen in the playlists, I have one specific playlist. I don't know if everybody does it or not. It's just an idea I had. It's a big, long playlist of all the things that I continually watch over and over. Punish props, particularly the Fallout videos that he does. I love watching those. If I need to be inspired, if I need to feel good that day, that's the video I start off with, and then it's just a list of all the people that inspire me or their props. Mm-hmm. I would like to kind of, whether I film it or not, I'd like to make those props that are in there and also kind of film it, because some of it is so fun. Like when Bill Duran's got two halves of a nuke and he's clomping to the music that it looks like Monty Python. I'm like, I gotta do that. I gotta film that and have that excitement.
That's definitely a fun channel. That's definitely fun.
So
you're right.
Like, like I made the phone case. I one of these days I'd like to make a cosplay set of armor, like what Sean does.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things out there that people are making copies of what's in movies.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to make their versions of what they were copying.
Yeah, right.
Because they came out so well.
For real.
All right.
We got one more, Aedo. One more.
All right, let's wrap this up. Let's go.
Yeah, this is a silly one. It's a quick one. Garland, would any of your props have fur on it? Kelly, I'm telling you, man, you better watch yourself.
Holy smokes.
You don't have to answer that. That's just a joke question.
All right, folks, Here we go. Garland, leave the fur out of it. Don't go into that.
You don't want to.
You're going to go into a rabbit hole.
I'll build a panel for that Ewok head.
Hey, listen, that Ewok head was pretty cool.
That was phenomenal.
That was cool.
All right, so we got a lot of your social media. I know. Where can folks find you?
They can find me on Facebook under Garland's Workshop, Instagram, Garland's Workshop. Those are my normal places. I just started a Pinterest under the same name, Garland's Workshop.
Okay.
So just trying to get all my information out there. If anybody has curious questions or comments or ideas, I'm always looking for an idea to jump at and try something new.
All right. We're going to be putting all your links out. They should be hitting the chat now. So folks, make sure you pass by, show Garland some love. He's a great prop maker, good friend of ours too. So make sure you guys check him out. So next week, I want to give a quick announcement for next week's show. We got a really good one lined up, folks. We got our friend of ours, Travis Larson. It's going to be a little bit of a change from the Star Wars. If you're into Disney stuff, you're not going to want to miss this show. This guy's, I believe, when it comes to room building, over
the top.
You guys are not going to want to miss what this guy did in his basement. You're going to flip out. It's all Disney. So if you're a Disney freak like I am, make sure you come to the show next week and watch it, because it's going to be unbelievable. Garland, thank you for being such an amazing guest. But I want to take this time to give you the fab floor. Go ahead and tell our viewers what you got going on in your show. What's the next thing for you, so they can continue to follow you, bud. What you got?
So coming up ahead, definitely the room build. I've got to get the room started. Part of that was making room in my room, because I have so many Greeblies. I built 2 sheds just to store all of it. And I realized I was falling behind with how many things I wanted to show the community. Hey, here's a sewing machine. Here's what's inside of it. There's cool things. And so I started a new series called Hunting for Greeblies. And primarily I'm doing that on Facebook. So if you go to Garland's Workshop on Facebook, I have these 1-minute shorts. It shows you exactly what's in these things.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just another way of contributing, because I've received so much. And I think I'd like to get into some more model building. As you've seen, I kind of like those textures, and I just got to get in the attic and find some of those old action figures I got.
Yeah, we're all getting into that. I mean, Dennis from Black Market Up started an avalanche with that stuff too. James has done some great.
I just saw his post today.
Yeah,
the latest one's awesome.
Yeah, can't wait to see the finished product of that one. So
yeah.
All right. Well, listen, again, I appreciate. Thank you to all our viewers for coming out and checking out our show. Remember to like and subscribe to Fab Works. Be here every Monday, 8 p.m. for the next show. We're going to continue to run with this. And
always
if you're
something fresh, right?
Yeah. And if you're a prop maker or an artist of any kind and you want to be part of the show, hit us up. Let us know. Let's see your work, and then we'll bring you on the show. So with that said, all right, folks, we love you. We think the world of you, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, folks.
Thank you.
What's that, Dave? That was so good. Do the banter.
Yeah.
Bye, folks.